Hello and welcome to my VV Beta graphics tutorial. My name is Takuma Nakata. I'm an interaction designer based in Kyoto. And today we're going to talk about emissive texture. So I got a question from Costilla Matka. He's from Spain, asking me if emissive texture, emissive lighting is possible in VVV Beta. And he actually asked me if that's possible using superphysical. I tried it out. I couldn't really find out the best way to get it work inside Superphysical. So I basically think he wanted to use the object as a light source so that you can create something like this. I couldn't figure out this way, but there is an interesting way you can actually achieve this kind of thing inside vvvv by masking an alpha channel and then making that part of the geometry glow. So this is an example I created. So for example, if I higher it up, you can actually see that the white part, oh, this is way too high. Lower it down, lower it down. So you can actually see that the white part of this geometry is shining and the rest is just black. And I used this when I was designing an illumination as a prototype. I needed a tunnel to glow, but I didn't want the metal part to be glowing, so I used this kind of technique on creating it. And this is how the patch looks like. So what I'm basically doing here is I bring this band back. So what I'm basically doing here is there's so this is a render. Oh, where did it all go? Oh, so oh, since the okay, so because the material is in alpha, I don't see anything. But what I'm basically doing is, so I have like I remap the channel, like alpha channel, as like this. So I think the default, oh yeah, I have to change this one. So if I change this one, then I can see. So this is how it looks like. Like this is my render output as a buffer, like the texture output. As you can see, it's totally gray. But if I connect, if I do this color channel remap thing, what happens is that I can only get the I can read back sort of like the only much texture that has an alpha data. So with this one, it's here, and then I have a constant with alpha. So this is the texture. Wait, show alpha. So this is how it looks like. This gray part is an alpha channel, so that it sees through. And then I'm connecting that to a box and a height map, so that later on I can, when I render it, I can remap that texture, only alpha texture. So this black part is an alpha texture. So then I'm inverting that to a white texture, and then I'm applying a glow to it, and then connecting with the raw RGB texture, and then making this kind of result. So yeah, I think this way you can actually do it. I'll step by step explain how I did this. I actually learned this by reading out this superphysical reflection and glow. So someone, Dorops, he wanted to do something like this, and they had a discussion with Texture and Tokyo, all the legends, I mean all the great people. And I think so if you download this one from Texture, you can actually see he implemented like font with planar reflection. So if you want to have a reflection, something like this, then try downloading this one. I think you need superphysical for this, but it looks really well. It works really well. And then he, at the end of his patch, he had this function implemented using color channel remap. So I learned by following this patch. So if you have any topic that you're interested in searching or like trying to work on it, just go to vvv.org and then just try to search for the topic that you're interested in, emissive texture. Oh, emissive. I think it was emissive. This is correct, right? Maybe not. Or just Google like vvvv emissive light, and then you should be able to find like what kind of topic people has already been talking about. And yeah, this is how I learned. But also it will be really nice if you have any question to me. I might be able to solve or help you like solve it. So in this way, yeah, he asked me how to do it, so I came up with a result to share. Okay, so let's get this started. So first of all, just delete these. Take a screenshot again. Oh. Hey. Okay, so just take a screenshot just in case I forget how the patch looked like. So I just put this on the side, and then I'll save and delete this one. Oh, and at the end of this tutorial, I'll also be sharing how I did kind of find I could implement this kind of things in Superphysical as well, but it wasn't really working as a light source, so it might be different than what you want. But anyway, let's get started. So first of all, we need a render MRT because today we're gonna using the output of this render as well, and then I'll set the render size to 1080 to 1080 texture size, and then I'll also Control I and make sure my depth buffer mode is on, aspect and ratio, then group. So as always. So first I'll be creating a scene, and I won't make it too complicated, so I'll just create a box and then a constant. A very simple setup. So then I'll need a preview here. So right now I'm not seeing anything. I need the camera. I always forget this. No, camera orbit. Then I'll just connect these here. So now that I can see a box here, right? Okay. So this is the starting point. Okay, what I will be doing next is I will create a texture for this. So I need an alpha channel. I'll create a linear spread. It doesn't really have to be a linear spread. Oh yeah, I think I'll just create another render MRT, and then I'll connect this one to the constant, and then I'll set the texture size to 1080 to 1080 as well, and then I'll just create a segment, so geometry, and then I'll connect the constant. So this is going to be my texture, so I'll create another preview to just see what kind of texture I'm outputting. And if you have a texture that you want to map that has PNG like alpha channel, then you can connect that one as well as a file texture. So I'll be using this one. I'll put this one in the front. I want a bit of resolution. Okay, so this sphere will be the one that I want to glow, and what I have to do is I'll be using a node called set alpha. So this is a set alpha color. So this one, set alpha color, and then I'll be connecting this to the constant. So in default, this one is black, so I'll put it white, but then I'll lower down the alpha to 0 so that this white is the one that I want it to glow. And then I'll also change the color for the render background because it's more easy to see. So Control up, and then I'll just set it to like blue or something, just to make sure that it's easy to see. So now this white part is in alpha white, and then this blue is without alpha. So I guess just see. So it doesn't have an alpha channel. A is 1, but here A is 0. So these are the difference between these two. And I also need a blend node. Blend. And I'll be using the blend render state. So this one. And then I'll connect this one here. And then set this one to alpha add. So now as you can see, the white sphere disappeared because in default, like these effects in vvvv doesn't really know if it's in a blend mode or like in add mode or anything. So for example, if you have an alpha channel, in default it doesn't read, so you need to connect a blend node and let this output the alpha channel so that you can actually see it in the renderer. Okay, so the next step is I want to get only the alpha channel through this render output. So from here, right now you're not seeing it, so I'm gonna be using a color channel remap, which is this node, color channel remap, dx11 texture, and this one should be there. It's included inside the dx11 pack. So if you haven't installed the dx11 pack, please install that one. And then I'll connect the texture out here, and then what I'll be doing is I'll just connect this into the buffer. What I'll be doing is, so it has an input red, input green, input blue. So what you can do, you can actually convert like the input to a different channel. And then there's input alpha. So there's 4 different channels. What I'll be doing is I'll set the input red to alpha, input green to alpha, input blue to alpha, and then I'll keep the input alpha as red. As you can see, I now can see the sphere that has an alpha channel as a black. So if in default you don't really see that sphere part, but since I'm reading the entire I changed the entire color channel to alpha, then now I see this sphere as a black channel. So that what I'll be doing next is I'll connect an invert node so that I get a white sphere rather than a black sphere. So as you can see, now it's white. So then I can add a blur here, glow, so that I can let this part of the sphere glow, and then I'll connect this into the buffer out. Then I'll increase the as you can see, now I got this alpha channeled sphere as a glowed part, and the black part is not visible, so that part is not glowing. So by doing this, we can actually connect. So what I have to be doing next is I just have to connect this box channel and blend these two so that I get the white part glowing, but the other part is not glowing. However, right now I think I connected a constant, so the box is too matte, so I'm gonna connect a Fong point so that it's more easier to see. As you can see, now we got a Fong here so that it's more obvious that it's 3D scene with shaders. I'll a little bit change the place of the light. Okay, so this is more better, so it looks good. Still, even though I have a shader, as you can see, I don't see it through the color channel remap. So this is really good. So what I'll be doing next is I'll connect a blend node. The blend, I think I'll be using the blend basic. And then I'll connect this one with this one. Then I think I'll multiply these. Oh no, I'll use the blend normal one, the blend. And then I'll change this onto screen. Okay, here we go. So we already got this shaded box together with the glowing sphere. I think the screen is not working well, so I'll be just try changing. Add. Okay, this is better. Then I can change the shape a little bit. Highlight boost maybe? No, it's too much. So as you can see, we already got this part of the sphere glowing, but the rest is not glowing. So by doing this, you can actually get like a certain part of the geometry glowing. So if you, for example, want to create a tunnel that it's with glow, but you don't want your arch to be glowing, then this is the way you can actually achieve that kind of stuff. However, the glow in vvvv is not really like the best. Oh well, it's okay. Highlight goes to 1. Exposure. Oh, and you can also make it black as a whole. Or you can make a certain part just glowing. So by using this technique, you can actually make a an interesting graphic. Like if you want only some part of the visual glowing, then you just have to connect an alpha. You just have to change your texture to an alpha texture, and then everything should be working fine. So if I change this one, the box on the render texture output for the render, no, the background texture for the render as alpha, then entire scene will be glowing. So by doing this, you can do quite a lot of like playing around. Let's try opening up the sample patch that I was talking in the beginning. I think that one explains a bit more clearly. So I have it installed here. So this one is a sample patch made by was it Texture? Yeah, it was Texture. So this kind of result is also possible. So for this one, I think he's creating a quad with a linear spread 3. So there's 3 textures. We can connect this one to the preview and see how it's working. Right now I'm not seeing anything. Okay, so this is the texture that is feeding, and this part is with alpha. So if I change the background of the preview, for example, you can see, so this is the background. So this part is alpha mask so that you see the background of the preview. And then he's connecting that to font direction with a box as a texture, and then he's applying glow, and then he's also applying blur. And I think that's because the glow, just with glow, you really get this noisy effect. So if you connect blur to it, you can actually get a little bit more clear glow. So that's why he's connecting this. And this one is also interesting. Like, so he's connecting the color channel remap to the raw texture as well, and this makes a bit of difference. So if I reconnect this one to the blend modes, as you can see, you see the inner geometry, so the raw geometry together with the glow, so it gets like sort of like distorted. But if you connect the color channel remap, and what he's doing here is basically you're just changing the input alpha to 1. I'm not sure what this is, but by connecting this, you lose that like purplish color that was overlaid on the glow texture. So it gets more clear, like you only see the glow texture on top. So this part is also quite important. And yeah, I think that was it. And he also implemented this plane reflector by just, he said, by just how do you say, rotating the texture from the camera so that he can get a planar reflector. So yeah, I think this is a good patch to learn on. It's a bit complicated, so I decided to. I mean, it's not complicated. It's just a little bit hard to learn if you're just started vvvv. So I decided to make this tutorial. Okay, so our last topic for today is I'm gonna try open up FieldTrip packs and see how it works with FieldTrip. So this is a FieldTrip pack. So it's inside packs photo. No, not FieldTrip, super physical, and then inside nodes, modules, and then here we have the super physical help patch. So I'll open this one up. Oh, did I delete the last patch? Okay. Doesn't start. I just delete this one. And then I'll open it again. So this one. And I think I'll just reopen this one because I don't want to recreate the entire part. Okay, now it's working. So this one is a super physical help patch. And then again, I would like to open this one up. Then I will just drag and drop this part to use it on super physical. So bye bye. Then I'll copy paste this one here. Then I'll reconnect these here. And I don't need, oh wait, I'll connect these ones. Connect this one here. Then I'll connect this one here. And then I'll remove this FXAA. Okay, so I just reconnected this. The result hasn't changed. And that's because we don't have any alpha channel in this super physical material. So what I had to do here is, so in super physical there's this color input. So this is the color that is controlling these. So if it's white, then it gets fully affected by the texture here. So what I had to do is I had to change this color, like add an alpha here. Here we go. So that was really quick. So I just changed, I just pressed shift and right click and alpha to 0, and immediately, like through this, the geometry that has an alpha channel got glowing. So if I put this back to its 1, then it all goes back. So what if I only want like one geometry here to be glowing? Then what I have to do is Control I, and then I'll create a 4 different color input, and then I'll change just one of them to alpha 0. Okay, so now this torus, not torus, is this torus? Yeah, this torus is the only one that has color as 0, alpha as 0, so it's glowing white. Oh, I forgot to connect this one here. And then if you want the material to affect that, you can also connect the color channel remap to the blend basic, or like this one to blend basic, so that you can get the color, and then change this one to like subtract, multiply, like multiply works. If you want the entire scene to entire geometry to just glow, just connect this one. You can also change the color of this glowing. For example, if you add a colorize node, colorize, and then colorize the inverted geometry, inverted color texture to let's say like red, then you can get red. I'll just remove the blend basic, connect this one directly. Oh, why is it so strong? What's happening here? Oh, the background. The background is in alpha as well. So what I have to do is, oh, it doesn't have an alpha. That's strange. Color channel remap. This is correct. This is not correct. Well, anyway, I'll just skip this part. So in this way, you can actually let only one geometry to glow in your scene. However, it's not this one is not connected to the volumetric, so you can't really get like volumetrics like volumes casting from this glowed geometry. So that's a little bit minus thing that you can't really do through this. And then they also have emissive material. So inside material, there's this emissive texture, and if you connect a texture to this, you can have sort of like just try connecting something. Pillow. But this might be different than one you're expecting. So in default, emissive texture is off. So toggle on, and then let's see what kind of texture I'm outputting here. Pillow. Or I'll just connect a gradient. Okay. So I'm connecting this kind of texture to every geometry. As you can see, what this does is so it doesn't get affected by the lighting, and that's what this emissive texture is doing. So you don't get affected by the lighting. So if you want some certain geometry that's I'll colorize, then I'll set this one to, if you want like a certain geometry to be like fully colored, then you can use emissive texture for that as well. However, this one is not a light source, so you don't really see the volume here as well. Emissive here is also a bit different, so it's more about the emissive or the geometry material, not the light. So yeah, I hope this helps. I think the first half technique on alpha, converting the alpha to a different channel and then applying a glow to it will be an interesting technique if you're interested in creating something with glow and certain point. But this was it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.